All right, welcome back. It's game 2 of the Team Liquid StarCraft 2 Open. It is the US BNet edition. I'm DJ Wheat. This is Chill, and we're getting started here for game 2 of semifinal 1 between Select and Sjow, both from Team Dignitas. And are you ready for the countdown, brother?
Let's do this.
All right, let's do this in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Okay, so as said, this is the Team Liquid Open 512-man U.S. tournament. This is Game 2 with Sjow down 0-1 in the semifinals. This is his map selection, Scrap Station, spawning as the blue Zerg in the top position.
Dignitas Sjow!
And spawning as a red Protoss in the top right position.
Wait, you gotta wait for it. You gotta do the tasteless, like, it'll in the spot about to spawn.
It's top right.
Select.
I like the Korean accent on there. It's
I do my best.
Again, sticking with PVZ, looks like these guys are taking it to the grave, and Sjow is confident with his Zerg here. Surprising, you know, if there's money on the line, I'm gonna play my race if I'm facing elimination. But Sjow, taking it to the grave, gonna stick with Zerg here.
And I can understand, like, we're teammates, you know, like, we just played each other like 75 times yesterday. Let's get into something new. And so I can understand that. I'm just glad that these guys are willing to have some fun. You know, I don't know that I could handle another TVT, even though that's not going to happen in the other set. But this is kind of exciting, even if it is funny if spawning pools get put down right there in the middle. So we do have a forward what's that?
I was wondering, where's the spawning pool going to go this time? And looks like no possibility of blocking the geyser unless he completely walls off the western and southern end.
Yeah, you never know. You never know that maybe an Evo chamber should go right there, smack dab in the middle. So Select is going to bump back up and be like, sweet, I see the pool. It's going to give him an opportunity to drop. Well, he drops the pylon here, and then it looked like he just kind of scouted over here, make sure nothing goofy was going to go on, and then he put the forge down. Now, this worked out pretty good for him. So you had mentioned that you felt like both of these guys were at least somewhat comfortable with these races, and I'd have to say, I'd go out on a limb here and say Select is a little bit more comfortable with Protoss, just in the way that he's playing here. At least that's my feeling, Chill.
I think he's playing a very basic style, though, that, you know, he's focusing on upgrades. He got that +1 last game out very quickly, even before adding any additional tech like the robotics facility. And then the backbone of his army was just simple gateway units, Zealot, Sentry, Stalker. So when you're playing that style, you know, it's not difficult to make it work. And even the way Sjow was playing was kind of the Zerg answer to that as well, just making a Hydra Roach Ling. Unfortunately, in this game, Zerg has to do something a little more special, and I think that's why we saw the result we saw last game. 2 Zerglings now chasing out that probe. Drone goes to expand. Fortunately, there's a pylon right in the way.
Yeah, that's a big old FU for that drone right there. That's just the worst. Queen's going to come out, will help with the assistance of that, and now the Zerglings are going to have to go work on this pylon a little bit, and this drone will just kind of help out. But the Nexus is already over halfway done here, so again, the Protoss just plans to get a nice economy, support with gateway units, I would guess eventually go to Colossi, but, you know, I wouldn't count out the ability to go a quick air route in this one. I don't really see Select doing it quite yet. In fact, losing that pylon, he did supply block for a moment there, if I wasn't mistaken. Or was that actually... Oh, I don't know what I was seeing. Maybe it was a slow update. That was odd. Anyway, pro transfer going on, but the point being is that, you know, maybe some Stargate units here to just harass this back line. I don't think he even knows it's coming. We have a Roach Warren up, and so he's just gearing up for, you know, a Scrap Station game.
You know, again, Select's wall isn't the greatest I've seen here. If we look at this cannon at the back right, not really guarding the majority of the surface area here, and that leaves the top where this Zealot is standing quite exposed. So that shows me a little inexperience in his Protoss play. Also, I feel like he didn't know the timings really. You can put down pylon and then a 14 Nexus forge and make a cannon, and you'll usually be fine against pool first build orders on Scrap Station. But he's still way ahead, as Sjow had to kill that pylon, get the Zerglings out, kill the pylon, put down the hatchery. I mean, The hatchery at the Zerg Natural isn't even finished yet, just about to finish, and the Nexus has been up for quite some time.
All right, so I'm looking over at Show's side because you just comment about how far ahead. You know, we've got Select right now, and Show just got his lair done. He is sitting on a lot of gas, which I mean, I hope that he's going to be doing some sort of Spire play here, because otherwise, you know, it's a shame that he doesn't have Zergling speed yet. He is working on the Roach speed right now, but you know, he's got 0 army at this point. He does got his drones going over at the natural expansion. He has a second geyser up as well. But I don't know if he's just going to sit here and macro that he's going to be able to beat what the Protoss will eventually be able to throw at him. He's got cannons up here on the hill. I mean, he is ready. No one's going to get into this back door through that debris. Over here, we got more gateway buildings coming in. So, you know, I think he's just going to do a repeat performance of last game.
Really interesting. Sjow has decided to go for an infestation pit. So I've been keeping my eyes on the production tab to see if he's getting those infestors out. Yes, he's getting 2 out, not going hive. So this is a really strange timing to go straight for those 2 infestors and back it up with a lot of speed roaches. I'm going to be interested to see what he does with those infestors. Meanwhile, the Protoss kind of sticking with what's tried and true, getting warp gates out, just about to finish, adding on 3 more gateways and really chrono boosting out that +1, which is almost finished. And when you chrono boost out +1, it really comes out quickly. Zealots with +1 deal well against all the Zerg units. So as I said, just a really fundamentally strong way to play Protoss if you're not too familiar with all the tricks of the trade in PvZ. So I like what Select is doing here.
And he's ready to reinforce a giant army. Zerg does have vision of that gold down there, and you know, eventually at this point, although he's really droning up and he's getting ready, you know, he's not going to be able to mass too many infestors. Partially because they cost a lot of gas right there, and he has not gone pathogen glands, so he's going to have to let these infestors just kind of build up some energy. It just limits what the infestors can do. Now, he moves his roaches out here. Not sure if he's going to decide to push through there, but, you know, it's going to just take him a while to be over here. I mean, eventually, Zerg will kind of want to push through this little area if he's got the advantage. Spread the creep through there, make it your quick little gateway over to the other side of the base. But again, I'm just worried about the army that he's got right now. Of course, again, any sort of air, aside from these infestors, maybe fungal growthing and throwing out some infested Terrans, would be awesome right now for the Protoss. But instead, he's going to send over an observer, probably start getting his Colossi, and keep going with what I would say is really the safe build.
I'm getting a little nervous here for Sjow. He doesn't really seem to have anything to deal with, you know, the hardy damage dealers of the Protoss army, which are Templar or Colossi. He's now getting Neural Parasite, but that's a little bit late. So that'll help him deal with any Colossi that come in. And on top of that, he's taken his third base a little bit late. Protoss has shown he's kind of on a defensive foot, not really scouting too much. I would like to see that third base go up much quicker, as Sjow has really just been pumping out the roaches, and only a few infestors, now 3 more coming out. But I'm a little bit nervous for him when this robotics gets rolling and we see all these sentries and stalkers being made for the Protoss player. I don't think that Sjow's really going to be able to deal with that.
I mean, and Select at this point, I think Select said this is not good. And I don't know if he's talking about, like, for him, or I think he's talking about, yeah, Sjow. I think he just said my strat, and I think he's going to say, oh, he said no me. But I don't know what the hell he's talking about. Now, the thing is like, when you're going to combine...
Never played Verse Infestor with Toss.
Okay, well, he's not going to have that much. You know, I feel like if he would have had Hydras here, it would have been a totally different, you know, a totally different thing. What I typically see happen with these infestors is you get the fungal growth off, and then when you have the Hydra range, you could keep your infestors away and you keep your Hydras out of danger and just kind of pick away at the army. Of course, the roaches don't have they don't have that sort of advantage. They only have 3 range, so he's moving his infestors forward. I'm curious to see what the hell he's got planned for that. So I don't know. The Protoss shouldn't really be worried at this point. I don't feel like.
So third base up for Zerg. He's going to start saturating that now. We see the robotics putting out the first Colossus. Thermal Lance is on the way, almost complete there. Yeah, I really feel like Protoss Select is just going to sit, max up on these 2 bases, put out a lot of Colossi, and then push. And like you said, without those Corruptors or Aspire or even Hydras with range, going to be so difficult to deal with. In theory, you would think Neural Parasite deals with Colossi very well, but in practice, it's very difficult to use, especially with the Thermal Lance upgrade. The Colossi just sit in the back, dealing the damage. You can't get your Infestors up close, and here comes Protoss moving around. Doesn't have charge yet, but has a lot of sentries moving in. He can really put that force field and let the Colossi go to work. Moving in, putting up the Guardian Shield. Roach is a little bit out of position. Let's see how these force fields do. A lot of Infestors running around, trying to get the fungal growth is off, actually, and the Neural Parasite goes off. They do a lot of damage to the Protoss here. Oh my god, Select gives it up and just says LOL as the Roach is moving, just steamroll his army. Colossus still under Zerg control. Roach is coming up to clean up. Now the Colossus is back under Protoss control. We're going to need to see another Neural Parasite. Doesn't go off.
Wow.
But wow. Just move in now with reinforcing Hydra support. Fungal growth the Colossus and take it out.
That was not terrible at all. It really wasn't. That was pretty nice by Sjow. He went in there. I was not really expecting the Neural Parasite. I mean, he was researching it, but, maybe that's what he thought the only way he could deal with those Colossi, and it did work good. Now, he did lose a few over there. He had a couple go down, but the ones that